एक छोटा सा सवाल, इन सब के नाम, इन सब चोरों के नाम मोदी 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 कैसे हैं? नीरव मोदी, ललित मोदी, नरेंद्र मोदी, और अभी थोड़ा ढूंढेंगे तो और बहुत सारे मोदी निकलेंगे।
India's parliament has disqualified senior opposition leader Rahul Gandhi a day after he was sentenced to 2 years in prison in a defamation case. A parliament notice said that Mr Gandhi stands disqualified from the membership of Lok Sabha, referring to the lower house of parliament. He was convicted by the court for his 2019 comment about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's surname at an election rally. He remains on bail for 30 days and has said he will appeal the verdict given by a court in the state of Gujarat. Mr. Gandhi's party has termed the verdict erroneous and unsustainable and pledged to fight the disqualification both legally and politically. On Friday, the Congress led opposition leaders in a protest march in the capital Delhi. Visuals showed heavy security in the Vijay Chowk area outside the parliament as the opposition leaders stepped out carrying a large banner that read "Democracy in Danger."
He was disqualified because he was found guilty by the court of making defamatory remarks towards the OBC, other backward class community called Modi, which uses Modi surname. So in a 2019 program, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, while addressing, had said something to this effect that, he named Mr. Narendra Modi and the earlier fugitives like Lalit Modi, the other guys, and Nirav Modi. In that sense, he said that, why all the Modis are absconders, or he had said in Hindi कि सभी मोदी चोर क्यों होते हैं. So a defamatory suit was filed against him, and the hearing of which happened, after which he was found guilty by the court and he was convicted for same, and then the sentence for the maximum sentence of 2 years in such cases was awarded to him, but the court had immediately also suspended that sentence and given him 30 days to appeal against it in the higher court.
Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge alleged that the action against Mr. Gandhi was a consequence of his demand for an investigation by a joint parliamentary committee to probe allegations against the Adani Group. The conglomerate was accused of decades of brazen stock manipulation and accounting fraud by the US-based short seller Hindenburg Research earlier this year. The Adani Group has denied allegations of financial fraud.
The Congress party had raised their objections to it, saying that this particular case was, earlier with a judge who, after say some years, somebody else came in his place in between. The original complainant had sought stay over it, and despite that, after a year or so, when the judge changed, the matter was again brought to the same court, and then this particular court announced this judgment while Mr. Rahul Gandhi was raising questions, and his party was demanding the joint parliamentary committee probe, as they say, JPC probe into Adani scandal that we all know of. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi was consistently for some weeks alleging that there was some kind of nexus between the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Mr. Gautam Adani and his group. So this is the allegation being made by the Congress, that he had to pay the price, and he was subjected to this sentence by the court because he was raising questions against the Prime Minister of India and alleging that he had some nexus with Mr. Adani, and to silence his voice, this particular judgment was pronounced against him. Now they aim to move to the higher court next week and see if they can get some relief from the court or not. In the meantime, Mr. Rahul Gandhi today only held a press conference and said that, even if he's barred from entering the parliament forever, he will not go back on the questions those he has been raising, or, the JPC demand or the recent questions being raised. He will not go back on those questions. And so this was the reason why he was given this sentence, and because as per some of the court rulings and some of the sections of the Indian law, which says that if a member of the assembly or the parliament is convicted with at least 2 years of which invites at least punishment of 2 years, his or her membership of the said assembly or the parliament should be terminated. So he or she should be disqualified. So here, yes, there is a bit of contradiction, which is more open to interpretation. Could be interpreted either ways. That when the said court itself suspended its sentence and gave him 30 days to appeal against, then could the Lok Sabha, the Parliament Secretariat, have waited and given him some time to appeal in the higher court to see if the higher court would have quashed the conviction against him? But they did not do so. They went with the relevant portions of the law, as I told you, and they immediately disqualified him the very next day, which the Congress party and Mr Rahul Gandhi and his party's senior leaders feel was inappropriate, was they say is a political witch hunt and unfair treatment. And to this, they have decided that they will fight it politically. They will go hit the streets, protest against it, and also, as I told you, appeal in the higher court the next week, the coming week.
The Congress says it plans more protests against the government in the coming days. A 2013 Supreme Court order says that a lawmaker convicted in a crime and sentenced to 2 or more years in jail stand disqualified from the parliament with immediate effect. Mr Gandhi would not be allowed to contest elections until his sentence is suspended or he is acquitted in the case. National elections are due in India next year.